All right, so we are now live again on Usapang Musiko Season 2. And for today's episode, I want to talk about consistency. Okay. What do I mean by consistency and how being consistent in our craft, whatever craft you are in, can help you out in becoming a better version of yourself. Ayan. Okay. So, when it comes to work ethic, sometimes it's being overlooked, no? We only think about discipline, but discipline should always come with consistency because showing up or waking up, for example, to go to the gym or whatever, do the tasks that you need to do needs a hell lot of consistency as well, no? Because you can wake up every day at 5 a.m. but not be consistent in what you're doing, no? You can be in the gym doing different things and not be consistent with one thing. No? You can go practice pieces that you like, but you don't practice the things that you need in order for you to grow or to become a better musician. So, how do you become consistent? The first thing you need to do is actually just do it, no? That's a really easy answer is to do the thing that you need to do, not the ones that you like to do. So what's that? For example, in music, you don't like to practice in violin. You don't like to practice playing open strings, no. But it's the foundation of your tone production. And if you don't work on tone production, what will happen to you? Your sound will dissipate. Your sound will deteriorate. You won't reach your end goal, no. Consistency is not just about being able to do things at a certain level all the time. It's being able to accept that you need the work to be done, no? In not in a certain amount of time. I don't like using time as a measurement of how well you can do things. But I want to use the goals that you set. So if you're setting up goals in order for you to achieve a certain thing, that's much better. That's a much better metric to use rather than, okay, I need to do this for 1 hour. But what if in 20 minutes you already done it? You're already good at what you need to work on today. So you're just gonna waste your time, right? So you just need enough time for you to execute what you need to do, and you do that every day. Because the thing is, you might be practicing 1 hour today, and tomorrow you're gonna practice 20 minutes, and then the next day you're just practicing 10 minutes, no? But you're not reaching the goals anymore. You're just doing it out of repetition just because you want to do it, not because you need to do it, no? So that's the thing. It hurts the most for a lot of musicians because it's hard. Okay? The basics are the hardest things you have to understand because it becomes boring, no? But if it bores you, it means that you're getting good at it, no? That's one thing you have to understand. So it's really hard to be consistent because it's like it has to be routinary. You have to build the routine around what you need to do. For example, I always tell my students, this is how you should practice for now as beginners or as someone starting out. Okay, practice first tone production by doing open strings, and then do your scales, and then do your etudes, and then do your pieces in that order, in that manner, so that they can develop a routine so that they can be consistent in what they need to do and to achieve. Because if they just have fun with it all the time, it's okay to have fun, no, don't get me wrong. But if the only thing you're after is the fun aspect of it, the fun side of it, which is playing pieces, of course you won't grow as a musician. You won't become better. You won't be a better version of yourself. No? So it has to be like clockwork. It has to be like breathing. It has to be like eating. You do it without thinking about it. But if you're doing it, of course, you think about the food that will come into your mouth, for example, or you think about what you're going to eat. But The thing is, you don't think about the process anymore. It should come to a point where that process becomes natural. And to be able to get to that level, you need to be consistent in what you're doing. No. Okay, this is not just about practice. No, consistency is not just seen in your practice. It's also seen in your lessons. For example, when I was in college, I had lessons with my professor, the late Professor Esmilia. Okay. So whenever we have lessons, I would always show up whether I practiced or not, no, due to some circumstances. Sometimes I don't have enough time to practice because I'm going back and forth from Cavite during my college days. But I don't use that as an excuse not to get my lessons. Why? Because being there, being present at that certain time of the day with my professor is the time that I need to be consistent in. Why? Because if I don't practice or if I do practice, I will learn something. Okay? Showing up and being consistent in showing up will reap benefits. Whether you're ready or not, it doesn't matter as long as you're there. Because there will always be something you can pick up from doing that. So I will always be there. And I had times before that I would get lessons like twice a week. With this full schedule, I would try my best to always come in his studio, just have a chit chat, and then maybe if there's no one having lessons, I'll take the studio and have lessons with him. And it has been one of the things that I'm really thankful for because just getting those lessons made me understand myself and my music a lot more better. If I didn't versus if I didn't go through that. No, if I would always make excuses because here's the thing: if you're enrolled in school or in the conservatory, sometimes I mean most of the time you fix your schedule, right? You have a schedule, so it's already there. It's a constant. Your schedule is fixed. So you have no excuse why you should not come to your lessons, for example, because it's already predetermined by you. Because during that time, I was the one who scheduled my lessons. No, I think it was around. I think I always have lessons Wednesday 10 a.m. That was my preferred time. So I would always show up whether I did good in my practices or if I did bad, but I will always show up. So that's one thing to be consistent about, especially if you have lessons right now. No, if you have a teacher who's also consistent, no, because always showing up shows you not just you respect their time, but it shows you that you respect your time as well. That you don't make excuses of not showing up or not bringing your best, no, and just when I show up, I do my thing. It's the thing. It's the same thing with athletes, diba? We hear stories of people being like Kobe Bryant was always ahead of everyone because he was consistent in not just in playing, no, but in his work ethic as well. He practices the basics every time he steps on the court when he's practicing. It should be the same thing when you're practicing your instrument. You should always go back to the fundamentals and work on it until you get enough that it becomes clockwork. No, that it becomes, that's what I always say, like eating or like drinking or like breathing. That you don't have to think about the things that you need to do. You just do it because you know your body knows what it needs to do. And if you reach that level, of course, we are always constantly grinding into getting to that level. But yeah, I think we over romanticize or over sensationalize grinding in a way that we always think that we have to work hard, no? spend countless hours practicing. But no, you don't need to do that every day. Of course, you need to understand you're human. You have a lot of things in your plate. But being able to constantly put a schedule in where you practice and try to make it at the same day, same time every day, that consistency will add up. No? Because it's really important that you understand how your body works in this thing. It's the same. That's why I always say that a musician is basically an athlete. No, even my professors before says that musicians also train muscles. It's just that they train smaller muscles, smaller, more refined muscles versus athletes who train those big muscles in order for them to perform their craft, no, whatever sport that may be. The same thing goes with musicians. So you have to take care of your body and you also have to train your body. Because what? They always say your instrument is an extension of your body and it's becoming part of you. And no, if you don't train it well, you don't train your body well, you won't be able to react with your instrument properly. Hence, it's gonna limit your progress, gonna limit what you can do with your instrument. So you have to also understand that. No? Yeah. Other things to be consistent in is maintaining your instrument. Okay. Because a lot of people tend to forget that their instruments needs tender care and attention. You know, you need to give it attention as well. You have to wipe it down if it's dirty. You have to lubricate it if you're using, brass players lubricate their instruments. For violinists, you have to put rosin on your bow, take care of your strings. No, being able to always perform in tip top shape is also important, and to be consistent in those things will add up. And here's the thing: what's good about being consistent is it compounds as well. No, whatever work you're putting in, may it be 5 minutes a day, constantly every day you doing it will add up. Eventually, it will make you 10, 15 times better than you were when you didn't do those things. No, when if you're not right now, if you're not practicing open strings or whatever exercises your teacher told you to, if you do it religiously, no, it will always add up. All right. Good afternoon to John Denver. How are you? Do you have any questions? Okay, let's answer some questions coming from our viewers. Yeah. So yeah, for consistency, I really want to talk about it because, well, what makes someone great is being able to do something on a regular basis. Diba? Like, if you can't be reliable, no? Like, it always goes down. I think the best analogy is in sports. Okay. If in basketball, you can be relied upon to shoot the last shot every single game of the season that you're playing, if you don't practice that shot, most of the time you won't make it and you won't be reliable enough. Hence, if you're not that consistent, why will they pass you the ball? Or why will they even put you in the floor if you're not going to make that shot? It's the same thing. If you're not practicing scales, if you're not practicing your tone, no, improving your tone, why would someone, let's say, pick you to perform with them, for example? Or why would they watch your content if you don't practice? Diba? Or why would people tell you you're good if you're not? you know? I mean, we do this for our own fulfillment. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you have to understand that in order for you to grow, you need feedback from others as well. And if you understand those things are happening, diba? It's inevitable, especially in our age. No? Well, you just really have to be consistent enough in providing whatever you need to do. If you need to do something, you do it properly. You do it with the intention of actually being good or actually doing great. No. But here's the thing. Sometimes people confuse perfectionism with consistency. Okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to do it. No. So it's better to create something. For example, if you want to post yourself practicing, it's fine. No. If it doesn't sound as well, it's all right. Post it so that you have something to look at. Let's say in a week's time, post another one of the same thing that you're practicing. And then look, diba? I know it's been trending a lot, 100 days of practice. No, people a lot are doing this, no, just to it helps you become accountable in yourself, no? Because if you post something day 1 and then you post it again day 100 without any improvements, who's to be blamed? You had 100 days, no? You don't even need a whole day to see improvements, no? The small things count, though, diba? And those small things compound over time. So you just have to show up, do your thing, and be consistent in it, no? So try to fit it in your schedule if you're really, really, really uh religiously trying to be better, no? You don't have to be a professional to want to be good, to want to be better. You just need to be accountable so that you can be consistent. So discipline and consistency is one of those things, are some of the things that can help you become better and speed up your progress. Because if you track your progress, you'll see that a simple exercise for 5 minutes a day can do wonders in your craft. And I'll leave you here on this episode. Thank you for tuning in. We're now at over 1,200 subscribers. Thank you again for always listening to my podcast. I think the podcast now has over 500 streams. Wow. I'm really, really thankful for you guys. And of course, check out my new album, Through My Glasses. We're over 10,000 streams as of today. So, really thankful for your support. And follow me on all my socials, links down in the description box. Also, if you need any help in creating music, no, strings, arrangements, you can check me out on Fiverr. And yeah, just check out my Spotify and of course Anchor.fm for the podcasts. This has been Ryan Monakil for Usapang Musiko Season 2, and I'll see you on the next one.